If you like what we do here on Skiba News Nation, please like and subscribe, and also share with others so we can grow the biggest truth-seeking community on the internet. Huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there. If you like bonus content, you want some extra Skiba News Nation stuff, please go to patreon.com/Skiba News Nation.
Welcome to Skiba News Nation, bringing you unfiltered views, news, interviews, discussions, and more. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Skiba, award-winning musician and son of Rob Skiba.
With the son of the legendary Rob Skiba, Jeremiah Skiba, what's up?
With my great and insightful co-host, Mr. Jake Grant.
Dude, so much you do conspiracy news. It would be 10 times better than what you see on television.
It's like they don't even want to wake up.
He's on a quest for truth. I don't care what it costs. I want to know what the truth is. And I hope that people, my son, anybody, if my name comes up, whether you like me, whether you agree with me or not, at least you can respect the fact that he's on a quest for truth. He's on a quest for truth.
Hi, Sheila Skiba here. Just wanted to say thank you for joining us today. I can't believe it's been a year, but we have great expectations and hopes for the future. Thank you for joining us as we continue our quest for truth.
As my mom said, thank you again for being here with us.
We want to rejoice and be thankful for the time we did have so we can share it with others and continue to stay on our quest for truth. This is a time to be anticipating great things, and the best is yet to come. Thank you for your prayers, love, and support. We love you, and thanks for being part of our family.
Welcome to Truth or Con. Our vision is to grow the largest and most profound exposition of truth in the modern age. Here, no truth is beyond reproach. We're here with a common goal, and not everyone will agree with you. My name is Jake Grant, and I'm a co-host of Skiba News Nation. Now, some of you may even be here because of that very name, Skiba. What we want for Truth or Con is to be an amazing opportunity for you guys to connect with one another, for us to ask hard questions for the presenters that are coming up, because we're all here with a common goal, to seek after truth together.
Oh my gosh, what's happening?
Declassified. What's up?
2026,
y'all.
Updates are coming soon, but for all you early birds, truth is back, baby.
Truth is a taco. Oh no, it says truth is back. Oh, okay.
TruthOrCon 2026 pre-sale tickets are available now, so go to truthercon.com and get your tickets today. So, hey, Skiba News Nation family, welcome to episode 146 of Skiba News Nation, your weekly source of the latest news, controversial topics, conspiracies, forgotten history, and so much more. I'm your host, Jeremiah Skiba, and as always, my awesome, insightful, so many words to describe him, he's epic, Jake Grant. Welcome, Jake. What'd you think of that new intro for TruthOrCon 2026? You can get your tickets now, and it'll be in October, and it'll be in Dallas, and you can get 20% off by using code TRUTH20 at checkout, and you get 20% off of your ticket. So
Yeah, I am so excited. I've already seen some of the behind the scenes of the next venue we're looking at. And you guys are definitely going to want to jump in on that little early bird thing we're doing for you, because once you see what we have in store and the prices go up to, you know, normal price, you're going to be like, ah, man, I missed out. So anyway, support what we're doing, support what you like, and if you want to hang out and see what we got planned for 2026, make sure to grab a ticket.
Yep. All right, well, you got some good current news for me today?
Yeah, we got a whole host of stuff, including a Christmas special this year, presented on December 25th by yours truly.
Wow. Can't wait to see it.
All right, so in breaking news, we have widespread fraud all across the country. Not to mention identity fraud and all kinds of different cultural fraud that's taking place as the masses are brainwashed at the end of this holiday season. But first, let's check out what the Somalians are doing.
Minnesota, massive fraud is taking place within the government and the Somali population. Here, this building alone, Quality Learning Center, is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong. And they said Learing. This
I want to go to the Learing Center.
In 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange things about these childcare centers is there's no one here right now. It's midday on a weekday. And if you were to try to go inside, it's completely closed and the windows are all blacked out. No one's working. Midday. Children should be in here. And this place is licensed for 99 children. And this is the outside. There's no windows, no nothing. And like I said, they literally spelt the word wrong on their sign. This is open and blatant fraud taking place here inside of Minnesota. The government is complicit with this, and this is just one of the hundreds of child daycare centers here inside of Minneapolis being ran by the Somali population. It's sad that it's happening here in Minnesota, and it stinks that it's happening and it's being labeled on the Somali population. However, that's just the facts of what's happening here.
Thanks,
inside
Tampon
Minnesota.
Tim.
$1.9 million for this daycare center that can't even spell learning right. Here
Wow.
in Minnesota,
and
massive
just
fraud.
a short while later, they had apparently fixed the sign as news crews were showing up en masse. And I think it's pretty crazy because we think about like the question, where's all the trafficking and such, you know, where does that happen, right? Well, it's probably through things like this where millions and millions of dollars are going to support supposedly hundreds of children, and those children are unaccounted for. So, I'm
so glad the Learing Center is now the Learning Center.
Yeah, so in the latest, apparently the guy who owns this, he was celebrating some political victory and was seen in the background. You know, and the victory was attributed to these Somali, you know, voters. Oh, man.
Did you hear the news? You talking about how Iran declared war on Europe and U.S. yesterday? Talking about the millions of gallons of sulfuric acid which spilled into a water system in Channelview, Texas yesterday? Negatory. Or maybe you're talking about how China was conducting live fire drills all around Taiwan all throughout the night. Like, currently, they are doing that. It just so happens this comes a day after America bombed Venezuelan docks where Chinese vessels were known to be. Not what I'm referring to. No. You can actually go hit up Kalshi.com right now and bet on whether Tim Waltz will face federal charges. And it's got like a till end of 2026. That's a solid bet. That's a decent bet. Oh, you're talking about how Saudi Arabia just bombed Yemen? That just happened. Yeah. No. And of course, Donald Trump was awarded with the Israel Prize. It's literally what they called it. What an honor. Nah, bro, they're saying that Stranger Things is going to be released in thousands of theaters now, and it's pretty much become like a movie event. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, and wouldn't it be crazy if it was Anthony Joshua's 33rd fight? against Jake Paul, and there were 33 million people that watched. Why?
Yeah. Well, just today, a derailed cargo train causes a chemical leak in Kentucky.
Oh my God.
All right. It was in Trenton, Kentucky. Hey, Jeremiah, this next one's for you. Did you see that Flossie, the world's oldest living cat, has celebrated her incredible 30th birthday?
That's awesome. Good. Thank you, Flossie, for all your service and for being a cat. Well, we plan to break that record with Charlie and with all of our cats. I don't know what... wonder where that cat is located. Is it here in the U.S., do you know? Do you think?
Where does it say?
Well, if its name is
UK.
Flossie. Oh, UK. So they apparently Japan has this thing, because most cats die of kidney failure. They have this shot that you can get in Japan for your cat that'll make somehow them live longer. So I don't know if that cat's cheating or not by getting you know, he's winking at me too. The cute little kitty.
Oh yeah. Hey, check this out. Don't eat the ones with face diapers. They're GMO. Oh, man. One more. Check this out. There's a little Barbie in all of us because microplastics. Oh, man. Okay, so we're coming up here on New Year's Eve as of the recording of this video. You know, the world's reckoning, January 1st, which, you know, make of it what you will. But, hey, check this out. I did a little stand-up routine and a short speech on the Christmas holiday. Check this out.
My name is Jake Grant, and tonight you are at the best location for Christmas since Chinese restaurants were invented. Right here, we can actually talk about what this day really represents here on December 25th, 2025. You know, thousands of years ago, Egyptians used obelisks to tell what time it was. We do the same thing today in the modern age, except we only check in once per year. Okay. You know, just a few nights ago, we concluded the festival of Hanukkah, and I've always wondered why this celebration had to be so close to Christmas. I mean, it was about rededication and the zeal for the Torah that the Max showed us. Yeah, the overcoming of pagan Greek culture. Epic. No mind a tad bit of that joy in this generation, maybe from the best commercial season of the year. I mean, really, who do you think sells all those toys to us? You know, the gadgets and the jewelry, you know, no wonder they're so excited during Hanukkah, right? All right. All right. One more. King Nebuchadnezzar commanded everyone a long time ago to bow down to a massive golden statue at the sound of various instruments, including the trumpet. This was under penalty of being thrown into a blazing furnace. The system is a bit easier now on us, though. Now the demand is buy at the sound of Mariah Carey. Some of you guys might have heard that one. I've been working on it. Okay. All right. So thank you for bearing through my deadpan humor here. The holiday siphon scheme is in full swing. Holidays like Christmas operate as the ultimate siphon scheme. And I'll explain what that means. Your money vanishes into gift wrapping and shiny trinkets. Your time devolves into endless lines and frantic preparations. Your resources pour into hopefully meaningful, but more than often meaningless items that tether relationships, nostalgia, and family bonds to these state-sanctioned moments of community and imposed identity. These trinkets and traditions create artificial anchors, gifts that remind us that we're connected, but only on the calendar's command. Meanwhile, most churches battle to keep Christ in Christmas. Yet, rarely do they acknowledge how the massive time, energy, and resources poured into these fellowship systems often lead us to neglect, replace, or even vitriolically reject the actual biblical feasts of Leviticus 23 due to simply the lack of time, the lack of money. Yeah, Leviticus 23, the ones that are the Sabbaths we're commanded to remember, which through religion we have replaced or forgot. Those ancient appointed times carry deep messianic significance and identity sealing covenants. Yet they've become historically anathema for much of the modern Christian church thanks to the shifting political and religious landscapes of the first few centuries AD. Who would have thought that the actual most likely birthday of Yeshua and the associated celebration Sukkot would have been considered anathemaed because of early church Roman church dogma? So if you really wanted to celebrate his birth on the most likely time, you were going to be cut off from the Roman church because that was too Jewish. Echoes of antiquity happen today in this Babylonian system of assimilation. In antiquity, the Babylonian Empire, the Babel system, worked through deliberate cultural assimilation. This was all via state-sponsored religion. This was centered on gods like Marduk. It blended Sumerian and Semitic traditions, forcing captives, i.e. the Judeans, to be renamed, re-educated in Chaldean language and customs, and integrated into the imperial rituals, eroding native identities in favor of unified Babylonian loyalty. That's why we have Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego being the only way I can refer to those guys, even though that was their Babylonian names. Does anybody know the Hebrew names of those guys? Yeah. That's because, well, yeah, hey, good job. Praise yeah, all right. So, this assimilation happened from these imposed identities of Babel, the direct parallel to our modern holiday machine. Now, Christmas follows this same playbook. It's an assimilated pagan festival, i.e. Saturnalia, the winter solstice rites, bringing them into Christianity. Then they underwent heavy commercialization in the 19th and 20th centuries through relentless marketing. The focus shifted from religious roots to consumerism, gifts, sales, and secular icons dominating the narrative. In a society today, we're a little elder scarce. And what that means is the preservation and the passing down of culture from the older generation is not like it once was a long time ago. Media-saturated societies and youth are indoctrinated from childhood, not from their elders telling them who we are, what our culture is, what do we believe, but via TV ads, social conditioning, movies. This creates a uniform commercial identity, eroding diverse cultural traditions and mirroring the same thing Babel used to do to enforce their homogeneity. Holidays function as society's ideal cyclical hinge. This is how they pivot us as a culture and allow them to control us universally. This is aligned with the natural rhythms, of course, of the solstices, the harvest. It's all about money in the end, right? The love of money is the root of all evil. And so some of these celebrations oftentimes were tethered to these natural rhythms, like at the end of the solstice period or during these harvests. Their recurring rituals build predictable patterns, and these patterns can be controlled and manipulated. Memories of family gatherings, feasts of giving reinforce the social cohesion, assimilating diverse groups into unified, controllable norms. Because whenever we lose our culture, we don't have that older generation telling us how we're special, how we're different, how our family does it, then we adopt what everybody else is doing. This predictability makes the entire population farmable. It makes us commercially exploitable, and it peaks during the holiday sales seasons. Economic cycles thrive on conformity pressures, and personal traditions morph into exploitable consumption habits. Diverse culture is then neutered to be one homogenized for stability and revenue, echoing the same thing Babylon used to do for imperial control. So let's talk about this historical and scriptural precedents against this system of forced assimilation. So we have the example that I started with of the Babylonian exile, Daniel 1. The Judean captives were renamed, schooled in the Chaldean ways, and integrated through state religion to erode the Hebrew identity and build imperial loyalty via rituals. The Philistines' gradual assimilation that happened recorded in the Judges involved intermingling Israelites with Canaanites and diluting their distinct identity by absorbing them into surrounding cultures through shared practices, often introduced through marriage, marrying into the foreigner. Native American boarding schools experienced this here in the Americas. I know we're shifting from the biblical lens, but it's the same concept of how Babel takes a society, removes their culture and identity, and gives it the identity of Babel. So state-forced programs stripped indigenous children of languages, traditions, and identities via Christian education and imposed holidays, enforcing Euro-American norms for predictability and control. It's kind of interesting to me knowing some of those native tribes had very similar practices to ancient Israel, the harvest festivals and such. And it's funny to me that when that identity was stripped for them and they were given that new Christian education, they actually started operating less like the first century church than they did before they were assimilated into Babel. Now, the fourth one was the Israelites were warned specifically against these foreign customs. And we were warned against these systems of assimilation that blind us. There were clear prohibitions against intermarriage and adopting pagan festivals to prevent cultural erosion. And this is seen most vividly in the reforms and such that happened during the Second Temple period, where they made it very hard to hide yourself as a Greek. There were actually more extreme forms of circumcision introduced and all sorts of things to keep the Jews from becoming more like the Greeks. And yet today, we often justify being just like the world. In our time, the pattern repeats. The holiday channels, the families, the cities, and entire people groups that are turned into these revenue-generating batteries. That's why the system operates with this modern holiday functioning state-sponsored religion, is because it's a literal resource battery. It's a predictable pattern that can be siphoned and controlled. So what about Merry Christmas, right? The word merry is not just about being jolly, but merry introduces the concept of marriage in a way. It's the same phonic sound. So how about instead of marrying into Babel by practicing Merry Christmas, right? We practice the festivals of Yah, which were parallel with the ketubah, the covenant of marriage to Yah. And so it's all about the culture that you practice. Do you have a culture of the Bible, or do you still walk in the culture of Babel? And can you identify what the culture of Babel is actually doing in terms of blinding us and drawing resources away from the practice of the Sabbaths that we're commanded to remember and celebrate? So perhaps a more thoughtful reflection on what we're really celebrating is in order. Because as a culture, if we feed these fond memories to our children, the memories of sitting around the Christmas tree, the memories of getting those presents on the holiday, if we create these nostalgic experiences, we perpetuate a cycle of blindness to the next generation. And that's why there's such a pull to this season holiday, and it's so hard for so many people, because it's all about the children. You know, Yah said, diligently teach what happened in Egypt and the exodus from Egypt to the children of Israel. And in the same way, I feel like we should diligently teach the difference of the culture of the book from the culture of the traditions of men and the things that we've inherited. I am lovingly pleading with the sleeping children of Elohim, because this season is used as the very blindfold of Babel. It's an ever-morphing time. It's an ever-morphing thing throughout time. It changes how it's presented, how it lulls people to sleep. But it's proven fairly effective, as every single generation each meets their own flavor of deception, distraction, and denial. Each generation is tasked with the choice to love the truth or to celebrate the lies. And I would encourage you to recognize that whenever we bolster the system of Babel that has been used to distract us, to drain those resources, and we encourage our family to continue in those practices, they are less likely to eventually redivert those resources, time, energy, focus, meditation, and understanding into actually observing the feast that we're commanded to. And so that would be my call to action, right? Is those who are returning to the Christmas season, is it too much? And is our practice of these modern holidays comparable to the amount of time, effort, and energy we put into the very feasts of Yah we're told are a sealing element to our identity as his people? All right, thank you.
Okay, so I spent some time preparing those 4 jokes, so I hope you guys laughed at least one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Anyways,
don't worry.
I know...
nobody laughs at my jokes either, so... No, very funny, man.
You know what?
Very funny.
It's all delivery.
I laughed at my own jokes.
That's what's
it's
important.
All the delivery. That's right.
That's really what's important. If you can laugh at your own jokes, hey, it's funny.
Yeah. Speaking of the erosion of culture, I'm pretty sure we covered this same kind of general message several years ago, but he is reiterating here the institution destroying the West and how they're destroying their own people. And it goes right along with what I was talking about there in that little holiday special. Check it out. They cannot ignore the fact that Russia cannot be defeated on battlefield. That's why they carry on with their information attacks. First of all, targeting the young generation, lying every step, distorting historical truth. They never cease with attacks on our culture, our Orthodox Church, or other religious organizations. Look at what they're doing with their own people. They're destroying the institution of family, their cultures, historical identity, and various perversions. With regard to children, up to PDs are accepted as the new norm. And priests are forced to recognize and officiate same-sex weddings. People have the right to live the way they want. Nobody intrudes upon private life. Nobody wants to do that. But I want to say is maybe they should take a look into the scripture, into the holy book of any great religion. It says that the family is a union between a woman and a man. All right, so
crazy hats.
Right there, yeah, the Orthodox, man, they're a whole nother breed. Some good, wholesome things there from Putin, and I know we covered this many moons ago, but it's interesting to see the degradation of culture over time and how they were calling it out there.
This was from a nation that didn't believe in God.
Way back when?
Yeah, being born out of the USSR, correct? Which was a communist, atheist nation.
Well, I mean, the USSR was Russia, confiscating all of the surrounding territory. And you know, here he's talking about Bibles and you know, verses from the Bible, and it, you know, the country has always been godless. So I don't know. Is that changing now?
I know they have a very strong Russian Orthodox tradition, and Putin himself is a Russian Orthodox adherent, and I know the state is very strict on proselytizing and people coming into the nation. It's, you know, it's one of those things on Google Maps where you don't see, you know, people pop up there in North Korea because there's such a control of state, you know, media and different things. But I'm sure some of it's like a language divide. But it's really strange though, isn't it? Like hearing that from Putin.
He's not wrong on a lot of those topics. I mean, they are allowing gay weddings and stuff. It's weird.
Oh yeah. Well, just wanted to play that video because it tied into my whole little speech there on the holiday season. But check out this. Somebody says, no way I missed this particular Kirk interview.
The Central Intelligence Agency is actively involved in mind manipulation of people here domestically. And that is completely against the CIA charter. We must understand, we have Congress, and they're just kind of like a peanut gallery. And then we have a super government that exists above Congress of the Department of Defense, which is the Pentagon, the Central Intelligence Agency, which is its own thing out in Langley, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They run the country. The intel agencies run the country. And then we have a super government that exists above Congress.
All right, so
the Department.
I saw this recent Ian Carroll clip breaking down the patsy during the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Charlie Kirk had bones of steel, strong enough to stop bullets. We just got our first bit of actual confirmation about findings of the autopsy, and they make the story even more unbelievable, if you could believe it. We'll tell you more all about that in just a minute. But the important thing is that Tyler Robinson is safe and sound in FBI custody, waiting for all the cameras to shut off and the guards to take a nap so that he can do a little bit of bedsheet origami. The FBI has charged him with aggravated murder, along with a host of other supporting charges, and are seeking the death penalty. It turns out Tyler Robinson almost got away clean, leaving the scene with no evidence, except for a detailed text message confession about how he used his firearm to eliminate the acquired target, and then got into his vehicle and was on the lam for 0800 hours. Pay no attention to the fact that we now know that the FBI has footage of the shooter taking the shot, and they specifically cut the video they released to start just after that part. Obviously, not because he never took the shot, probably never even had the rifle on the roof, but because of Redacted. Pay no attention to the old man actively causing a distraction to help the shooter escape, or to the more than 10 strange flying objects that have been located in the cell phone footage, or to the fact that the wound doesn't match the shot, or to the fact that we are being shown a fabricated text message chain, or to the new photo that surfaced of Bro stopping by Dairy Queen for a little blizzy while he's the subject of a statewide manhunt. Trust the FBI to get to the bottom of it, just like they did with the Epstein files. Because just last week, Kash Patel came out and officially told us that Epstein never even trafficked anyone to anyone. Hundreds of victims are all lying to us. The court that convicted Epstein was totally wrong. Ignore all the evidence and forget all about it. Midterms are just a year away, and you're supposed to hate your neighbor way more by then. So they're going to need you to stop talking about uniting in our hatred of Israel and get back to the race war that they had scheduled. Thank you very much.
Conspiracy theories are entering a...
All right, so I thought that was a pretty hilarious breakdown of some of the big questions there.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see that recent fight with Jake Paul and the Nigerian boxer Joshua?
I did, and then he was like in some accident or something. Where he killed two people?
Somebody, we're gonna get to that here in a moment, but speaking of scripted things, we saw the same activity during his fight with Mike Tyson, which is now officially confirmed as scripted, and here we saw it in this fight. sticking your tongue out means slow down. Okay, so this is how I take it, Jeremiah. It looks like Joshua broke the script along with his jaw, and then it seems like if this was some kind of choreographed, like, cultural phenomena, we have so many people in terms of this angst divide over what happened with Mike Tyson, hating the young buck white boy who beat up the legend Mike Tyson, and it all turned out to be a fabricated shame ritual, right?
Yep.
Well, then you have, boom, the alleviation of the angst by him getting his jaw broke, right? Okay, sweet, peace. Sweet, we're all good. It's equal now, right? Until guess what happens? Car wreck. So now I suspect there's going to be a little bit of, hoodoo around this particular car event, because it almost seems like a lesson was being taught to the guy who broke the script, if you know what I mean.
Right. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's my theory there. My theory there of what they're trying to choreograph.
That's a pretty good theory. I mean, for real. I like that theory. I didn't like the fight, but I think they're brilliant for doing this kind of thing, because of course everybody's gonna watch it. But like, what are they hiding behind? You know, like, what are they doing behind the scenes, like, while this fight's going on? 'Cause so many people are tuned in, and I mean, did you really think it wasn't scripted?
I mean, that's why we're sharing about the CIA and the way that culture and mind control works. It's all scripted. It's all scripted. And so whenever we see these events, these rippling waves that traumatize our minds, like, oh man, Joshua, he was so awesome, he finally taught that punk a lesson, and then, oh, what a terrible thing happened to him just a week later. And it's like, what if it turns out there was some kind of ill intention, what a coincidence, punishing this guy who's on top of the world just earned himself this, great, homecoming victory. Yeah, it's like drinking the poison when you realize the way we're all...
They're demons. They're frickin' interdimensional invaders, okay?
Don't forget it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, speaking of how technology is advancing, we shared this before, but I think it's fascinating. We're going to have drones. I know Dallas area is the first to get some real, like, legitimate drone delivery. These are popping up in neighborhoods. Little drone carriers. Man, that statement is so trippy. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not excited like I was in my childhood visions of the future. This is a different feeling.
Are those chargers, or are they like carriers? What is that? It looks weird.
They're like platforms for the drones to sit on that charge them as well. So it's like little charge stations. Oh yeah. I think this is extremely fascinating because I saw it come across my feed the other day, and it showed that there's right now a propaganda war going on. This is an image of a supposed Chinese rocket, reusable rocket, lifting off, and there was a little disclaimer that popped up on my phone as I saw this clip that said state Chinese sponsored like media. Okay, so you can't see it here, but on my phone, right here above the text, like a little disclaimer popped up, just like the, hey, the earth is flat is a lie, go click Wikipedia, would pop up underneath FE videos on YouTube. Well, it was the same thing, but it was saying this is from a China state-sponsored,
maybe you could insert
content creator or whatever.
Insert a screenshot, because that's super interesting.
And I think it's super significant because there's so much talks of turmoil over Taiwan and World War III. And just recently, there's been a bunch of journalists having to turn in press credentials. This happened in October 15th, but considering what's been happening in the past couple days, it's kind of crazy. We're definitely in the midst of an information war.
Info war.
So this happened back in October.
How are you guys liking Craig Cooper? How are you guys liking Craig Cooper?
Okay, so these people are walking out because they were being required to sign something that said they wouldn't publish information unless it was vetted by the State Department or the Pentagon. And so that was their new media policy, which shows me that after this requirement for them to sign, that they're going to play nice, that significant news headlines were about to hit the airwaves. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Isn't that really interesting?
Yeah. It's a good connection.
Speaking of interesting information that's been coming out, I don't know if you guys caught this, but the Epstein files that were released that were redacted, and then some college student figured out that they could just copy and paste them into Word and then reveal all of the redacted information. It was almost on purpose. You could kind of tell. Check this out. EU leader Ursula von der Leyen announces a partnership with Bill Gates to, 500 million children by 2030. Oh, man. And you know what they did last time. We'll have a segment on that right after this clip.
It means a healthier world. And is our best chance to do this. Have saved millions of lives in the past 50 years. But right now, millions of children are still at risk. They need... So we must continue to support around the world. And today, I am pleased to pledge $290 million for Gavi Alliance. Each child should be protected.
What kind of festival is this?
And more will come. Together with Gavi, we have the goal. 500 million children by 2030.
Oh, 500 million. 500 million. Where do I remember that particular number? Ah, yes, on some big old rocks in Georgia, right? Well, just never forget that what happened in 2020, which is what they want to have implemented at a more extreme scale by 2030, it sounds like. It revealed some of the most draconian of our society. Check this out.
Understand and live and die for the truth. Don't be built on the sand. Defiant lies left and right. Proud people still standing. Time after time, take repentance for granted. Wicked the pattern. It's the trouble you're damned in. It's the trouble you're damned in. Trouble you stand in. You drink the sweetest of nectars. Yeah, you're dying of thirst. Drop to your knees, thus you're leaving a hearse. Regardless, the start of race is made in the ending. Now the nations will gather because they thought the beast finally. Rivers of fire, they burn away. Here comes in glory, His judgment day. Yeah, they gather around, they don't understand. Shoot their fist at the king with their heads in the sand. Prophecies unfold, yet the hour is near. Watch the heavens open out and the world disappear. So down.
So yeah, I'm for sure foreseeing a ramp up of a very similar kind of iteration, at least by 2030. If they're going to get that 500 million number checkbox marked.
Yep.
Oh, goodness. Hey, check this out. Just as of today, I saw this Pennsylvania principal has been axed after ranting about Jew money in voicemail to parents. Sorry. Apparently, the anti-Semitic coalition has got you on their hit list. So he.
You and me both, buddy.
Lost. Oh man. In Ukraine, the war between Russia and NATO and Ukraine has really revealed the next iteration of modern warfare. And I saw this the other day. This is recent footage from Ukraine, which shows fiber optic cables littering the city as if a big spider web has been dropped right on top of the battleground. Okay, so in other interesting technology news, military exoskeletons are going to be an element to this battlefield engagement system. You know, as World War III ramps up, let's get ready for Spiderwebs and Spidersuits.
Skeletons, correct?
I just ran a sub 8-minute mile for the first time in my life in an exoskeleton. If I'm able to just like put on an exoskeleton and run a 7-minute mile, imagine what that could do on a Navy SEAL. That is where the Navy SEAL is going to be in just a few years. I think it's going to be hard for robots to compete with that guy.
How does the exoskeleton work?
So different exoskeletons work in different ways. This particular one basically is sensing your motion based on your actual motion, and then it tries to predict what you're doing, and then it applies force that matches. Then the crazy thing is eventually, someday, you'll be able to read those signals right from the brain directly. Imagine a world where you're wearing an exoskeleton where the moment your brain is telling your arm to move, the exoskeleton starts moving your arm. You could potentially make someone who's literally 10 times faster at moving or reacting. That's going to be the Navy SEAL of the future.
Holy shit. You're involved with exoskeletons.
Wow, pretty crazy.
I mean, I would like one of those for my back. I mean, just to posture, you know.
Yeah, man.
Would you test that out?
I want one for my grandmother. She broke her hip, and so I think having an exoskeleton would really assist her day to day.
Yeah, us old people, I mean, we really are hurting, you know? We're really hurting, and we need some exoskeletons ASAP. And on behalf of Jake's grandmother, I am demanding our U.S. military to give us some exoskeletons.
It's super cool, though. I mean, just the capabilities. It's like superpowers.
It's like Avatar, kind of. That's what it reminds me of.
Hey. On some of my feeds, it was a soldier during the October 7th attack on Israel who said they received orders to cancel all patrols along the Gaza border from 5:20 a.m. till 9 a.m., which is around the time that the attack happened, apparently. So
for us, October 7th starts before 6:30. I was a soldier in the mortar platoon of Golani Brigade's 13th Battalion. And that night, myself, my sergeant, may he rest in peace, the three of us were pulling an all-nighter. At 5:20 a.m., we're sitting by the radio so as not to wake the other radio operator. And my deputy battalion commander suddenly gets on the radio with a strange message. All stations. I don't know why, I don't know how. No patrol on the fence until 9 a.m.
What time was this?
5:20 in the morning.
They were told not to patrol the border fence between 5:20 and 9 a.m., the exact time Hamas was planning to attack. But in order for those directions to be given, his superiors would have to know Hamas's plan down to the hour, which how could they possibly do that except from Instagram? And B, his superiors would have to want to allow Hamas to attack. But that would be ridiculous. And I'm not going to believe anything like that until I hear the actual order sent out over the radio that morning telling them to stand down until 9 a.m. And no one has that audio. It's right here. Okay, thanks, Gary. Let's play that.
All stations are to hold their positions. So in terms of ground forces in Oreb, we don't have anything significant. The brigade issued a directive for our forces, pending a situation assessment until 9 a.m. No vehicle is to approach Burma. I'll say it again, until 9 in the morning, pending the situation assessment, no vehicle is to go down to Burma. We're in rear staging areas, a brigade-level arrangement. I don't know exactly why.
I don't know why, but all units, just don't do your job for the next, 4 or 5 hours, no matter what you hear outside, all right? Do not go out there, because we don't want you getting hurt doing your job, so just stay there. Don't do the thing you do. To sum up, this isn't the first evidence that Israel knew, allowed, fostered, and then exploited October 7th, even going so far as to kill hundreds of their own citizens. It's actually just a small piece of evidence in a giant pile indicating that's exactly what happened.
These testimonies, because we were like, why is it that, they didn't know this was coming? They're like the most elite intelligence agency. I don't know what the end goal there was, but somebody has one.
That's crazy. Yeah, he reminds me of J.P. Sears. I bet you he's like inspired by him. That was great.
Why we are so obsessed with Israel right now. And despite his and this whole administration's endless Zionist rhetoric, this is why, if you are pro-Israel, you are not currently America first. And until we deal with this problem, we are not a free nation.
About a year and a half after that, I'm in a green room at Fox, and I'm not going to say who because they didn't give me permission to share. It says, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that. That he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset. Meaning,
this part.
His plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake. The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption like, oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Which Middle Eastern countries they are, I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know which Middle Eastern nations? So there's this entire trafficking ring made exclusively of Jewish billionaires, from the front man to the mastermind to the handler to the bank to the literal ex-prime minister of Israel, also the ex-head of Israeli intelligence. I'm sure that all these Jewish billionaires set up a trafficking ring on behalf of Iran, right? So it's an open secret at Fox News, in these political circles, that Epstein was an intelligence asset of some nation in the Middle East. I don't know if you haven't been paying attention, but the Jews don't get along too well with these Arab nations. What nation could they possibly work for? But the most critical part is that the blackmail was not exclusively in Epstein's possession, because that's not how that works. He was doing blackmail on behalf of a foreign intelligence service, targeting all of the United States' top people, all of our top scientists, politicians, wealthy people, as well as British, just anyone he could get his hands on. And all of that blackmail is possessed by whatever country he was working for to this day. And they won't give it to us. So even if they blow this story up, expose all the files, even if they show the tapes, which they won't and should not do, we still wouldn't be the only people in possession of them. Every single person on those tapes is controlled by some foreign country in the Middle East. It's like, what foreign country in the Middle East has an insane amount of influence over everyone in the United States for no explicable reason? We are told ad nauseum that claiming that Jewish people have allegiance to Israel over America is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, despite the fact that on TV every day we have explicit evidence coming directly out of their mouths that that is often, not always, the case. And it's not always the case, and that's okay. But sometimes, frequently, at the top of power, it is the case. Such as Jonathan Pollard, one of the most egregious intelligence leaks in American history. He was an American Jew that, because of his Jewish heritage, had a stronger allegiance to Israel than America and committed high treason by giving Israel all of our secrets. This probably has a lot to do with Bill Clinton getting blackmailed by Epstein with the Monica Lewinsky scandal. That was all very tied together. Jeffrey Epstein himself is a perfect example. He's American. He was born in New York. His allegiance was clearly not to America first. Robert Maxwell, one of the most famous Mossad spies in the world, was born in Czechoslovakia. He was a British citizen, but his resting place is on the Mount of Olives in Israel because he backstabbed just about every government he ever worked for or had citizenship with on behalf of them. Leslie Wexner, born in Ohio, American billionaire. Clearly his primary allegiance is to Israel if you do even an iota of research about him. This bro was running trafficking rings out of all of Victoria's Secret, as well as Abercrombie & Fitch and Hollister. And I just had to giggle because I accidentally noticed that Ehud Barak, ex-Prime Minister of Israel, head of military intelligence, key member of putting this trafficking ring together and managing it. Yeah, he wasn't born in America, but he was born in Palestine, ironically enough. And a massive, massive portion of American citizens today have this question, both on Trump's side and on the left, and everyone in the middle is noticing very rightly that Trump and Tulsi and Kash and Pam Bondi, RFK, Marco Rubio, this entire administration, this entire cabinet, they've got great takes on America, in my opinion. Great takes on the FBI, great takes on the CIA, great takes on the deep state, great takes on taking down the corporate banker pharma control of our country. But every single one of them is a Zionist and extremely pro-Israel and pretends like Israel is our greatest ally, despite the clear evidence against that. Sure, maybe some Israelis are on our side. I'm sure there's lots of Israelis that are on our side, that are good people, maybe. There's certainly a lot of Jewish people around the world that are great people. But all of these people are very vocal about cutting funding to Ukraine. That's great. But then they try to deflect and stay silent and just do a little dance every time we notice that we're spending more money on Israel than on Ukraine over the years. None of them are talking about cutting funding to Israel that is actively blackmailing the entire US government, has a secret nuclear program, is committing a genocide. At the very least, it's an apartheid state. Their national economy is deeply intertwined in the diamond industry and all sorts of illegal international trade and human rights abuses around that in Africa. We have anti-Semitic speech laws in America when we can criticize our own government and our own president, but we can't criticize Israel. We can't even talk about it, or else we'll get kicked off the internet, kicked out of the government. And I hold out at least a sliver of hope for most of these guys that they do understand what's going on and they understand the gravity of Israel's control and that they are just tiptoeing and playing it careful and trying to get the job done here without starting a firestorm that's going to prevent them from doing that. But it's not looking super great. And just like, forget about all the other conspiracy theories about Israel. Forget about the Rothschilds. Forget about the Federal Reserve. Forget about the fact they own the media. Forget about the fact that they founded Hollywood. Forget about all that. Whether you think it's true or not, it does not matter. Just Epstein alone, just Epstein, blows this whole thing wide open. And even if every other Jewish conspiracy theory was not true, and a lot of them are not true, some of them are maybe, Epstein alone would be cause to sever all diplomatic ties with Israel until this story is completely exposed, because our government is not our own if our presidents and our senators and our top officials and our intel agencies and our billionaires and our media are being blackmailed with that kind of information and material by Israel. And Elon did this thing where he returned an awful lot of free speech to the American people. And there's this really rough consequence of free speech that it makes it really obvious when you're not allowed to talk about one specific topic. And the way that all the Zionists are going to freak out and call me names because of this video pointing out very clear facts that everyone can see for themselves online, that only proves my point. Yeah, Muslim extremists, they suck. Yeah, Sharia law, super whack. I want nothing to do with it. It's an extremely complicated situation. We get it. But just because a conversation is filled with blackmail and psyops and COINTELPRO and misinformation and just trash does not mean we can avoid the conversation about the entire US government being blackmailed.
Okay, and
I have a crazy theory, Jake. And I came across this the other day. I think JFK potentially was killed by the... And that they had a lot to do with it, and they tried to kill Trump, and they killed Charlie Kirk. Because they want to show who's in charge. That's why Trump went from America first to Israel first. Does that make sense? Like, I'm rooting for Trump. I want Trump to do good. I want him to be a great president. And I mean, you know that. Everybody on this show knows that. But I can't support what he's doing right now. And it hurts, kind of.
Yeah, it's a very, very complicated topic. And there's a lot of verbal name hoodoo of certain modern terminology surpassing the true historical identity of, you know, the people of the book, for example. And one thing is used to, like, you know, kind of wave a wand over us and say the magic word, and then we legislate certain, you know, clauses that protect groups that don't even represent who they claim to be. It's very crazy, but, you know, I think it's all leading to, you know, how there is going to be a reckoning as, you know, people are speaking up about some of these inconsistencies in the narrative. Yeah. Well, apparently it is very important for the U.S. to get Greenland, especially as tensions rise on the world stage.
We'll have to work it all out. But he felt very strongly we need it for we need Greenland for national security, not for minerals. We have so many sites for minerals and oil and everything. We have more oil than any other country in the world. We need Greenland for national security. And if you take a look at Greenland, you look up and down the coast, you have Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need it for national security. We have to have it. And he wanted to lead the charge. So we're making him, Marco, today, a special envoy to Greenland. Greenland's a big deal. Yeah. We'll
check this out.
Getting on their planes and they are fleeing the United States like right now because a young girl named Evangeline figured out how to unredact the redacted Epstein files, and it's absolutely wild.
Oh, look at this pesky redaction. Let's just get rid of that. That is insane. This is what happens when you fire government employees and you...
So right now, all over the world, there are tens of thousands of people combing through all the redacted files that have been released by the DOJ, copying and pasting and getting rid of the redaction, opening up an absolute can of worms. There are so many rich and powerful people who are right now, literally, as I speak, being exposed as PDFs, and they're going to be in big trouble because how do you clean this up now? How does the DOJ come back and say, oh, this is fake, this is that? No, we've got the unredacted files now. You done screwed up. Mess around and find out when you start putting stuff out there, because it's go time, people. Billionaires.
Oh, what are we going to do? The truth is getting out there. How are we going to stop this watershed moment of all the people getting their hands on this information? Well, guess what? Breaking news. You know, our bastion of free speech, X, right, bought by Elon Musk to preserve free speech, is now in a government contract with the U.S. War Department, partnering to bring AI to all of the U.S. military. I wonder if this could have any impact in the future on our bastion of free speech. You know what I mean? Because they wanted it to be released in that fashion. Because if you think about it, every single person that got access to that information that's unredacted is now technically in possession of, top secret information. So does that put you on some kind of list because you've witnessed the unwitnessable? So now the government is allowed to go into your computer and tap your phone and
or they wanted
Project Patriot you.
They wanted people to do this, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, to justify the intrusion of the investigators for those who dare think and look at things the U.S. government says we shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I brought up, Elon Musk. Check it out.
Does he have a national anthem for Grok?
The U.S. government is going to be powered by Grok. At least the military.
You know what I was told is that... Oh, that must be a Grok image. I was going to say, the only flag that can fly the same height as the U.S. flag is Texas, I thought.
Ooh, interesting.
And foreign flags.
I wonder if there's a signaling.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, last story of the day. Call of Duty creator Vince Zampella dies in a car crash. So... RIP all you Call of Duty fans. This guy, I think cumulatively, I think you should look at the Google answer to this, but look at how many hours and hours have been spent playing Call of Duty since the inception, and it's like the pyramid could be built 10 times over, something crazy. It's amazing.
I know how many hours I played on it. 1 hour. And then I said, I can't do this. And I walked away. But
nice.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Well, I had one. Yeah, I wanted to do one shout out real quick before we wrap up our show. It's my grandmother, Mama and Papa's 60th wedding anniversary this Friday.
And the show's not over, guys.
So they made it 60 years, and I wanted to say congrats, guys, and sorry your hip's broken, Mama. I hope you recover quickly.
Yeah, the show's not over, but yeah, happy 60th anniversary, Mama and Papa. And yeah, big shout out, Skiba News Nation. Leave a comment for them. Tell them you're awesome, whatever, All right, thank you for another great current news. As always, Jake, don't go anywhere, you guys, because we still got a great Opus Corner and a History's Mysteries for you. And now a quick look at my new book, Charlie's Big Adventures Around the World or Not.
Something in the mail today. Can I open it up? See what it is? Look at that. Charlie, look at this. Look. It's you. Charlie's Big Adventures Around the World. We're gonna flip through it. Look at all that. Look at this.
Here they are.
To Danny's toy.
So now if you guys buy this in our Babylon Rising bookstore, you get a free signed copy for the same price. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If you guys want a special edition of the book, go there.
Check out our new and improved BabylonRisingBooks.com, where you can get Rob Skiba books, bundles, DVDs, DVD-ROMs, videos, and so much more. You can even get Sheila and Jeremiah's books, so check it out now.
Sorry, there's a bug in here, but it's about that time for an all-new Opus Corner. Take it away, Opa.
Woo!
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
The strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. These are the kinds of subjects a man named Robert L. Ripley challenged us to
believe it or not.
Believe it or not, you.
Wally, believe it or not,
Believe it or not.
Believe it!
You're a loony.
A female duck named Sergeant Seawash served in the U.S. Marine Corps during World War II and earned a bravery citation at the Battle of Tarawa. Believe it or not.
You could.
The Statue of Liberty is hit by about 600 bolts of lightning every year. Believe it or not. In medieval England, eels were used as currency, specifically for rental agreements. Believe it or not. During the 1918 flu epidemic, people put masks on their cats and dogs.
They better.
Believe it
have.
or not. The Ford family in Michigan has a 142-year-old plus fruitcake that has been passed down through 5 generations. It even made an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, who tasted it.
Ew.
Believe it or not.
That's why this chin grew.
There is a toilet in an Akashi Japan cafe that is surrounded by an aquarium on 3 sides. Believe it or not.
That ain't right.
George Lucas considered making Luke Skywalker a little person. Believe it.
That would have been
or
awesome.
not.
George Lucas, how dare you?
The toughest puzzle ever? Heinz has released a ketchup-inspired puzzle consisting of 570 entirely red-colored pieces. Believe it
Opa, you want to do that one
or
next?
not. 100 Barbie dolls are sold every minute. Believe it
That's crazy.
or not. Thomas Edison made the very first
a lot of Barbie
film
dolls.
version of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein in 1910. Believe it or not.
Deep thoughts with the tie-dye rabbi. How to hold the universe inside. He said, I don't know, but I got high hopes. So come on, let's go.
11 plus 2 equals 13. 12 plus 1 equals 13. Then I realized that the 13 letters of each sentence spelled the other sentence. When you flip a coin and it lands on heads, it actually lands on tails. When you think there is no hope left, remember the lobsters in the tank at the Titanic's restaurant. Of all the foods that taste like chicken, isn't it weird that eggs are not one of those?
Well, but you wouldn't know.
Your mom's grandmother and your grandmother's mom are the same person. Chocolate is a flavor of milk, and milk is a flavor of chocolate. Maybe ghosts of insects you've killed come back to haunt you, and that's why sometimes it feels like a bug is crawling on you where there actually is not. Think about how lucky we are that blinking our eyes doesn't make a noise.
Yeah, that would suck.
How do you handcuff a one-armed person?
That's a good question.
What language do dogs think in? Do they think in barks?
Opus Blast from the past. 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 Opus Blast from the past.
Hi there, boys and girls. Welcome back to Winky Dink and You.
What was that? No, thank you. Hopefully you're gonna give me a nightmare. Winky dinky me.
Oh boy. Well, I'm glad this gorilla mask is real looking because I'm gonna have quite a bit of fun with it today.
I bet.
Oh, yes. Well,
Doing
I
what?
worked out a scheme to make Mr. Barry think that I can turn people's faces into gorilla faces.
No fooling.
Yeah, you see, I'm going to tell him that I've invented a magic serum, and that as soon as anybody drinks it, your face will turn into a gorilla's face, see? And then when he turns around, I'll put this mask on.
Fine. I just hope he doesn't know.
Winky!
Oh, I'm Jack now. You better go out the back way.
Yeah, right. I'll see you, Winky.
I'm over here, Jack.
Hey, Winky, you all ready for the big excitement?
Excitement?
Yeah.
Don't tell me you heard.
Heard what, Winky?
Oh, nothing.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Winky, but I'm talking about the excitement in today's adventure story.
Oh, that excitement.
Sure. Today we're starting 2 brand new adventure stories. One about Dusty Dan in Hollywood, and one about Mike McBean and the Pirates.
That's swell.
And if you'll excuse me, Winky, I'll help the boys and girls get the magic windows in place so we can start, okay?
Sure, Jack.
Now, boys and girls, I think you all know how to get your magic windows up on the sets. You just get them out, first of all. Get your Winky Dink kits out. Get out your magic window and your erasing cloth and rub it like this. That's the way we get some of the magic into it, boys and girls. Then take it and put it right up against the screen of your own television set. And rub it out from the center to the corners like this.
Look
Make
how
sure you keep your magic crayons and
ingenuitive
your
it
Winky
was.
Dink crayons
Is that
and
right?
your erasing cloth because you'll be using them during the show to draw like that. You all set? Okay, let's get right to the first story about Dusty Dan. Come on into the secret lab.
The Roy Rogers Show, starring Roy Rogers, King of the Cowboys, Trigger, his golden palomino, and Dale Evans, Queen of the West, with Pat Brady, his comical sidekick.
And Roy's Wonder Dog Bullet. Gunsmoke, starring James Arness as Matt Dillon.
So many cowboy shows. This one's my favorite though.
The Lone Ranger.
Get that engine. Get him.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Ohio silver. The Lone Ranger. The Adventures of Superman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Sunset Strip.
77 Sunset Strip.
77 Sunset Strip.
Starring Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.
77 Sunset Strip.
And Roger Smith.
77 Sunset Strip.
Co-starring Edward Burns. Produced by Warner Brothers.
Back before Hollywood was burnt to the ground.
Hawaiian Eye.
Hawaiian Eye.
Would this be considered
Starring
cultural
Anthony
appropriation?
Isley. Robert Conrad.
The soft island breeze.
And Connie Stevens.
Strange melody.
With Punsy Punts.
They're so on a film set. There's no way.
I don't know. When I was in Hawaii, it looks
Warner
that
Brothers.
good. But I've only been.
Watch Mr. Wizard. That's what all the kids in the neighborhood call him because he shows them the magic and mystery of science in everyday living.
Wish they could teach parents something.
Oh, there's that spiral again that we had on the candle.
Yeah, this time I've got it sitting over a lamp, and you know what makes it go around? Do you remember?
Well, doesn't it have something to do with the heat?
That's right. I'm using it this time to explain, or help explain, what makes the wind blow.
Here's adventure. Here's romance. Here's O. Henry's famous Robin Hood of the Old West, the Cisco Kid.
Cisco and Pancho.
Howdy, doody, doody, howdy, ho, 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 ho! Well, howdy, doody, Captain, and hiya, Mr. Smith. Well, hi there, little howdy, doody, and hi, Clarabelle, and look at
He
all
looks
the
like
boys and
Yucko
girls
the
there at
clown.
home. Hi, kids, and kids in the gallery, what time is it? Okay, let's sing it.
Looks like they had one haircut. Boy or girl. Same cut. Simpler times. Love that, Opa.
Mammoth tipping was the most fatal of primitive teen activities.
Do it, Grok. Do it.
Hell, Ben, you catch a few bullets through your hat during every holdup, and I'm finally gonna say I ain't never been much impressed. Why is it that every November our distant American relatives suddenly announce in a panic that they're coming for a visit, but never show up? The three wise men on their way home.
I thought we came from that way. Are you sure there's no South Star?
I told you we should have asked Mary for directions. Tarzan visits his childhood home. And once when I was a kid, a lion chased me up that old acacia. I used to swing on those vines all day long. Gee, all these trees seem so much smaller to me now.
Look, marriage is okay, but I also want my own identity. I mean, how would you like it if everyone referred to you as Chocolate Bar and Chocolate Bar? And not only do I make my own pizza sauce, I have a special way of crushing the tomatoes. We looked everywhere for the polka man you and your friends are so crazy about. Finally, your father found him when he was in Milwaukee on business. Polka man. See him dance and play 36 of your favorite tunes. At the Artificial Intelligence Lab Bar. You ordered a rusty nail and I ordered a screwdriver. Maybe it would be easier for him if we just ordered cocktails. How dare you? I did not eat your candy cane. You know, you're right. This just might be something worth staying up all night to see. The guy who sold you that fake tree must have been quite a salesman. Fake water. Now that we've thoroughly cleaned ourselves, let's get down to business.
Yep, that's true. It's accurate.
At the end of the date, despite all his expectations, M had to settle for a Hershey's hug. Just what is taking her so long? She only went upstairs to change. Back hump drivers. Easy on this hill. Keep the reins tight. Hey, watch that cactus coming up. Our think outside the box policy has been discontinued until further notice. Right. We picked up the gold and the mirth. What on earth is that?
Frankenstein. You said Frankenstein?
Gas prices on the rise. What do you mean, how does it affect us? Don't you see? Higher prices at the pump means fewer travelers on the highway, which means less roadkill. Get it?
True.
Santa parks his sleigh on the rough side of town. Free guitar, no strings attached.
Hey, it's like Charlie Manson's guitar.
Online dating in the 1920s. And that concludes another Opa's Corner.
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat er nicht 3 Ecken,
Come on, Jake.
dann ist es nicht mein Hut. Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut.
Do it at home, everybody.
Und hat
Dance,
er
dance,
nicht
dance,
3
dance, dance,
Ecken,
dance.
dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
Opa's Corner is now available on my own YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you, Opa, for another great Opa's Corner. Like, I really like the new segment a lot because, I mean, I feel like TV was so much cooler back then. And I remember you telling me about Winky Dink as a kid. And you have a pretty cool story about that I think other people should hear because it's hilarious. So what was Winky Dink, and can you tell your story about it?
Well, you know, all those shows that you saw on that new segment were ones that I watched as a kid, you know, and I've got a bunch more coming up in future Opa's Corners. But Winky Dink was one that, you know, as you saw, I had to run the intro a little bit longer because I wanted everybody to see what it meant to be involved in Winky Dink. So what Winky Dink was is that you had a special kit that you bought over the mail, and it came in the mail, and it consisted of that magic screen,
that paper,
and some magic gloves, and some magic pencils or colors. And what you did is that you took that magic screen and you put it on top of your TV, and then when the Winky Dink adventure would go, they would have some parts of the cartoon where they didn't have certain things drawn,
like the stairs or something,
stairs or a bridge or, you know, whatever. And so they asked all of the kids to draw on their Winky Dink magic screen and put the bridge in so that Winky Dink could get from one side to the other or go up the stairs or whatever it was. Well, there are a couple of things that bothered me now about it. And one thing is that when I was watching Winky Dink, I didn't have a kit. It was, my mom and dad wouldn't give me the money to buy it. You know, it was too expensive. So I just took regular old crayons and drew on the screen, which my mom and dad didn't really like a lot because you had to really, you know, the crayons aren't designed to go onto glass. Mm-hmm. So the other thing now as an older adult, and those TVs back then, they were cathode ray tubes, which meant that they drew on the back of the glass this phosphorus that's on there and drew to create the image. Well, that has radiation, and you're sitting there like 6 inches from the screen drawing with this radiation coming out onto you.
I think I just had a revelation. That's why boomers live so long, is because of the radiation.
Because of Winky Dink. Oh, well, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, how to energize your cells with all those radio frequencies right up in the face. You were just like really getting close, getting detail probably.
Yeah, I just had to get Opa to tell that story because I didn't know what Winky Dink was until that. And that monkey gorilla thing is freaky looking, but it's kind of cool to see what TV was like back then, because it's like you could watch it today and it'd be clean, like for children to watch, but like anything that's out today is like you don't want anybody to watch.
Do you guys remember any of those?
I remember you talking about them, Cisco and Pancho and Superman, of course, George Reeves, Howdy Doody, you know. So there you go, Jake. There's new content for your children. If you you can either scare them.
Yeah, that's cool.
It'll either scare them or it won't.
That's right.
So thank you, Opa, for another great Opa's Corner. And now a quick word from our good friend Kristen. Are you a content creator, podcaster, or show host trying to do it all on your own? Booking guests, moderating chats, creating timestamps, and scheduling interviews? It's exhausting. That's where Kristen and Fellow Helper Agency comes in. Kristen is the ultimate behind-the-scenes pro. She makes sure your show runs smooth from start to finish. Whether it's securing an amazing guest, keeping your community engaged, or handling the scheduling chaos, you can count on her. Imagine focusing on creating great content while Kristen takes care of all the rest. Professional, reliable, and trusted. If you're serious about growing your show and building your audience, you need Kristen on your team. Visit fellowhelperagency.com today, because the right help changes everything. Okay, guys, it's time for an all-new History's Mysteries. Got a good one. So today for History's Mysteries, we're going to be delving into 2 unsolved murder cases. Viewer discretion advised if you're not good with that kind of thing, but come along this journey if you are into that thing. But so we'll examine some newly discovered evidence that I found that allegedly they were committed by the same person, and it's going to blow your mind how just insane this story is. So first we're going to be talking about a girl by the name, or a woman by the name of Elizabeth Short, also known as the Black Dahlia. Opa, have you ever heard of the Black Dahlia?
No, unfortunately not.
Jake?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, let me give you a little backstory in case they decide to demonetize. For those of y'all who don't know who Elizabeth Short was, she was nicknamed the Black Dahlia for wearing black clothing. She was an aspiring actress found murdered in Los Angeles, California in 1947. On January 15, 1947, a woman discovered Short's naked body in a vacant lot mistaken for a mannequin. Her body was found only feet from the sidewalk, but that's not the crazy part. This is the crazy part. She was found cut in half, and not only was she cut in half, there was no blood at the scene, meaning somebody brought her to that scene after the fact. So that's dark in and of itself. So let's learn a little bit more about the Black Dahlia case.
She was found in a vacant lot, sliced clean in half, drained of blood, and arranged like a broken porcelain doll. Her face carved into a sadistic smile. There was no blood at the scene, only silence and questions. She was rumored to be an aspiring actress drawn to the promise of Hollywood. What she found instead was a nightmare that would echo through history. It was 1947. There was no DNA testing, no surveillance cameras, no digital trail to follow, just fingerprints, shoe leather, and intuition. And in this case, none of it was enough. The investigation would become one of the most infamous in American history. Dozens of suspects, hundreds of confessions, and still no one brought to justice. So who was the Black Dahlia? What really happened in the days leading up to her murder? And why, after all these years, does her case continue to haunt Los Angeles like a ghost that refuses to rest? The Black Dahlia murder refers to the 1947 killing of 22-year-old Elizabeth Short in Los Angeles, a case that remains one of the most infamous unsolved crimes in American history. Elizabeth Short was an aspiring actress who had moved to California seeking opportunities in Hollywood. She was born on July 29, 1924 in Boston, Massachusetts, later dubbed the Black Dahlia by the press for her rumored penchant for sheer black clothes and for the Blue Dahlia movie out at that time. In July, she was arrested by the Santa Barbara police for underage drinking and sent home to her mother in Boston, but she briefly returned to Florida for her health before she decided to return to LA, where the weather was less humid but still warm, in the hope of becoming an actress. The post-murder investigation produced several men who stated they enjoyed Short's company, taking her on as dates and offering her gifts. She always struggled financially, never having a steady job, but somehow managed to pay her rent on time. No one really knew her, as she had no one she called a friend. Those who did know her to some degree did not know much about her life. Her roommates, the bartenders, and the hotel clerks all came up with the same story, that she was secretive, never one to confide. She never said what she was really doing, or who she was really going out with, or where she was really going. On January 8, 1947, Short left San Diego, headed back to LA with a traveling salesman she had been seeing. She was dropped off at the Biltmore Hotel, where she told the man she would be meeting her sister, although later her sister, Virginia, told authorities they had not arranged to see each other and had not even spoken. According to the investigation, hotel employees stated that Short made several telephone calls in the lobby that very evening and appeared to be extremely panicked. Then she left the hotel around 10 p.m., and that was when the last confirmed sighting of Elizabeth Short being seen alive by the hotel staff. The next morning, January 15th, 1947, a mother taking her child for a walk came across the body of a young naked woman in a vacant lot in the Leimert Park neighborhood, just a few feet from the sidewalk. The corpse was sliced clean in half at the waist, the internal organs were removed removed and posed in such a way that the mother reportedly thought it was a mannequin at first glance. Nearby was an empty bag of cement. The police responded to the gruesome scene. What they saw defied explanation. Being so disfigured, authorities knew that they would be unable to share photos of the body with the public. But despite the massive mutilation and cuts to the body, there wasn't a drop of blood at the scene, indicating that the young woman had been killed elsewhere and left at the present scene. Soon, the paparazzi arrived and had to be kept away from the crime scene. When the coroner later examined the body, he ruled that the cause of death was due to hemorrhaging from the lacerations to Short's face and the shock from the repeated strikes to her head. The severity and nature of the crime captured widespread media attention, and newspapers dubbed her the Black Dahlia, in reference to the 1946 film noir The Blue Dahlia and her preference for black clothing. The ensuing investigation was led by the LA Police Department, but the FBI was asked to assist. Being fingerprinted and photographed in the past, the FBI quickly identified the body after just 56 minutes by getting blurred fingerprints via sound photo, a primitive teletype fax machine used by news services from Los Angeles. Although the LAPD had several leads into Short's death, including handwritten notes delivered from the supposed killer, no one was ever charged. In support of LA Police, the FBI ran records checks on potential suspects and conducted interviews across the nation. In the early days before forensic investigation, authorities had early suspicions that the murderer may have had skills in dissection, such as a surgeon or a butcher, because the body was so cleanly cut.
So, yeah, pretty graphic, but one thing that we can learn from that story is that you should always tell a friend or a family member where you are if you're going somewhere. So I feel like that's very important. But next we're going to be talking about something that we've talked about on the show before, and it's the Zodiac Killer, right? And you might be thinking, how do these connect? Like, what is this? What are you talking about, you crazy person? But I'm not a crazy person because... well, before we get into that, I almost went too far ahead of myself. Let's learn a little bit about the Zodiac Killer to refresh us so we are all on the same page. So, go ahead.
Well, we have reason to believe that he's a maniac. However, he is a cunning man. He knows just exactly what moves he's going to make. It appears to us that he is killing just for the thrill of killing.
In the late 1960s, a serial killer terrorized Northern California. To this day, his crimes remain the most famous unsolved murders in American history. High school students Betty Lou Jensen and David Arthur Faraday were on their first date December 20th, 1968.
When a car pulled up next to them. The bodies of the young couple were found shortly after.
Victims were a 16-year-old girl and a 17-year-old boy. Possibly they were ordered out of the car by the responsible, and the boy was shot right at the side of the car, and the girl apparently tried to run, and she was shot
and found 28 feet further on. On July 4th, 1969, another couple were attacked in similar circumstances, 4 miles from the previous double murder. One of the victims survived. Shortly after, the killer called the police to claim responsibility for both slayings.
I want to report a murder. If you will go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway, you will find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye.
Notes. On July 31st, 1969, the Zodiac sent 3 letters to several newspaper offices, with 1/3 of a cipher. The killer threatened to commit more crimes unless his letter were published by the press. On September 27th,
1969, 2 college students, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, were having a picnic at Lake Berryessa, where a man wearing a black hood approached them with a gun. After tying them up, the Zodiac stabbed them repeatedly, later leaving a symbol he used in his letters, drawn on the victim's
How do they know he had a black hood if they both died?
Brian Hartnell survived the attack and spoke from his hospital bed.
I considered him a robber. I had absolutely no thought that he was anything but that. I don't think that he was acting under his total complete.
He just played dead.
Total complete consciousness.
in October 1969, Zodiac killed his last known victim, Paul Simon, the cab driver. He mailed a piece of the victim's shirt to the San Francisco Chronicle.
Captain Lee, at this particular time, is satisfied that the individual who sent this piece of shirt in and the letter to the Chronicle was in fact connected with is the person who killed the cab driver, let me put it that way.
In the span of 2 years, the Zodiac murdered 5 known victims. In one letter, he claimed responsibility for 37 murders. He continued to send letters to the press until 1974. Journalist Paul Avery received those letters.
I think that the Zodiac is just making an idle threat, frankly. I think he just wanted to get himself a little publicity. Hey, he's not a brilliant man, but he certainly isn't dumb.
Many have been suspected of being the Zodiac, but no one was ever proven to be the killer. The murders have inspired many books and movies. Here's a great example.
I got a job at the San Francisco Chronicle on September 16th, 1968. About 3 months later, Zodiac struck. It stayed with me until a day about, the late 80s.
In 2020, a team of experts cracked the code of a 1969 cipher sent by the Zodiac.
We tried several 100,000 incorrect ways of solving the cipher, and just by chance we happened to sort of stumble upon a fragment of how it could be solved, and using that fragment we reverse engineered the entire solution and got the entire message out from the Zodiac.
However, the message didn't contain information that could help identify him, and some people think it never will. Or so we thought. So you might be saying, how do these two murderers have to, what do they have to do with each other? How are they connected? Just, I mean, I get it. Both of them were killed in California. Okay, whatever. Both murderers were, I mean, these are two completely different dates, though. I mean, I can imagine what would go through somebody's mind if I told them this. But now we're going to be talking about this man right here. His name is Marvin Margolis, okay? Does he not look like the Zodiac? These were the photos or the renderings that the artists drew of what the Zodiac looked like. And so in one of his ciphers, he said that he would say his name. And so this popped up on my feed the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do Histories, Mysteries on it. So let's learn together.
They are two of the most infamous unsolved crimes in American history, the Black Dahlia murder and the case of the Zodiac killer. Both crimes were front-page news back in their day, but in spite of the massive publicity, the identity of the killers has remained a mystery until now. Because in a world-exclusive report, the Daily Mail has revealed that the murders, separated by 20 years, may not have been committed by separate killers at all. They were allegedly the work of one man, identified by investigative consultant Alex Weber as Marvin Margolis, who lived in California when both murders occurred. So how did Weber crack this case?
Name.
Well, to understand that, first you have to know some very key information about both of these cases before we move forward.
Ghoulish.
So in January of 1947, the mutilated body of aspiring actress Elizabeth Short was discovered near Lover's Lane in Los Angeles. The papers quickly dubbed her the Black Dahlia, a nickname given by friends due to her raven hair and penchant for black clothing. Those friends included Margolis, who fell under suspicion after lying to cops about his relationship with Short, and police even considered him a suspect at some point. 5 days after Short's body was discovered, the editor of the Los Angeles Examiner gets a call congratulating him on his paper's coverage of the murder and promising to send a letter. The next day, authorities intercepted a package containing Short's birth certificate as well as some photographs, and several more letters were
Now this
followed,
whole time I was like, this is
with
BS.
a drawing of a dagger dripping
But
with blood. But
here in a
despite
second,
these clues, cops never zeroed in on a suspect. And decades later, another killer would send some letters of his own. In December 1968, 2 teenagers were found murdered at another Lover's Lane just outside of San Francisco. 7 months later, another couple would be found dead just 2 miles from the first murders. And a month after that, the Zodiac killer sent letters to 3 local papers claiming the killing. But But something else was also in that letter. A message written in code, better known as a cipher. More victims and more ciphers would soon follow. In total, 5 victims were murdered and 2 more were injured by the Zodiac killer. And more than 20 ciphers would be sent by the killer, including, most critically, the Z13 cipher sent in April of 1970. That cipher included the words, "My name is ... followed by yet another code which decades of experts have struggled to decipher. But those experts weren't armed with the cutting-edge AI technology that helped Alex Baber to at last uncover a name, finally revealing that the Zodiac killer may well be the same man once considered for the murder of the Black Dahlia, Marvin Margolis. So what else links these two crimes? To help us get some answers, we're joined exclusively by Alex Baber, the investigative consultant who cracked the code, and Josh Boswell, the Daily Mail reporter who broke the story. Gentlemen, thank you so much and welcome to the show. Alex, I want to start with you. Tell us how AI helped you succeed in cracking the code when so many before you, for decades, had failed.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course.
We had a different approach when we saw the Z13 for the first time. We understood that the numerous individuals before us had failed because they saw it as being an infinite number of possible solutions. And we knew for a fact that that wasn't the case. We just had to go through every possible solution mathematically to come up with an end or a single solution that would correlate with the crimes, the location, and all the evidence. And in doing so, we sourced the Social Security Administration first male names and all surnames, and we wanted to group these on letter frequency or character count within the Z13, and that would allow us to know under a monoalphabetical solution or key that we would be able to identify the most likely name set. So what we did was we uploaded these. There were 71 million when we started, and we started processing those between 18 and 20-hour days over just over 9 months, and we kept getting these smaller subpools of individuals. And when we got to the bottom, 94% of the 71 million was eliminated because though the names came together with the character count, it was not a real-world individual we could identify. So what we did from that point is we took the records based on the Zodiac's profile and history. We knew he's likely between 35 and 45. In April 2022, they released the 1950 census records. So we knew the first attack happened in December of 1968, so the individual would at least be 19 years of age. So taking that into consideration, we figured based on the witness accounts, including Officer Folk, who said he was between 35 and 45, that we would work backwards from that point. So we gathered all the records and all the names that were left in the pool, and we actually cross-referenced those with the 1950 census record, working in reverse. And in doing so, we're able to eliminate the other groupings of names as possible solutions or candidates. Through a very long, extensive period, we were able to eliminate all but 184
So even at this point, I was like,
meaning that there was real-world individuals who were possible or probable at that point, but we had to go into their background. So when we started getting into their background, the pool got smaller down to 35 to 14, and then down to one individual, and that individual was Marvin Merrill.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Let me go to Josh for a second. Can you tell us more about Margolis? Why did cops look at him for the Black Dahlia murder, and what sort of triggered the suspicion that he was the killer?
There were really 2 key points that caused police to zero in on Marvin Margolis for the Black Dahlia killing. Firstly, her body was found cut in 2 very cleanly with surgical precision. And so police from the beginning were thinking this has to be someone with some kind of medical background. Now, Margolis at the time was studying medicine at USC. So, he already fit that profile in that respect. Also, the night before the killings, a female police officer encountered at an LA downtown bus station Elizabeth Short, the victim, who was distraught and was saying that she was being threatened with death by her ex-Marine boyfriend, who was very angry at her. And of course, the only boyfriend who Elizabeth Short had, who was an ex-Marine, was Marvin Margolis. So that's what got him kind of on the police's list at the time.
Amazing. Alex, what other evidence connects these 2 crimes 20 years apart?
Okay, so when we approached the descendant of the suspect, we came to him with the handwriting samples or letters of the Zodiac, and when we presented those to him, he recognized the handwriting. And at that point, we disclosed the connection of his father to Elizabeth Short in 1946. They lived together for 12 days at Guardian Arms Apartments, and he wasn't aware of that, he said. However, he said, I got something I want to show you. So he pulls out his phone, he starts flipping through his photographs, and the first thing that came to my mind, understanding the history of his father was that he was an artist. He claimed to have studied under Salvador Dali at the time he dated Elizabeth Short, to be exact. And I said, well, did he make a painting? And he said, no, a sketch. So he pulls the sketch up and he shows it to me on his phone. He hands it to me and I zoom in, and it says Elizabeth in large bold printing on the bottom. It's signed and dated by him, 1992, within a year of his death. He died of terminal cancer. And within this sketch, there's these wounds
look at the handwriting.
that are depicted that are very unique and precise to what was seen in the autopsy of Elizabeth Short. And
so that looks like
the hair. She appears to be
similar
lying in
to the Zodiac's handwriting.
Blood between her. But when I got the photograph of the sketch,
right there,
first thing that came to mind is Zodiac liked playing games. He always had these hidden clues.
Anything hidden?
So we started running the sketch through this. We're peeling off the layers for light contrast. And in the lower right corner, as you can see, it's circled. We discovered a single word, and that word was Zodiac, capital Z, lowercase o, lowercase I, lowercase a, lowercase c. That was an immediate moment for me where what we had was a piece of physical evidence.
Unbelievable. Gentlemen, amazing work. Bravo to both of you. Thank you for joining me. Happy holidays. We're out of time, so thanks for joining me.
So, I mean, I was very skeptical the first time, or the first half of that, and I feel like that story it was just too important not to discuss on the show, or not to do a History's Mysteries on it. And this is an example of how AI can be used for good. And what are your thoughts, Opa? Just, do you think that it's highly likely that the killer was this guy?
Yeah, I think the evidence really points very much to him.
What about you, Jake? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Fascinating how AI is able to unlock all of these codes, and it just makes me ponder, what else could AI be helping people unlock? All these ciphers and ancient codexes and such. And yeah, this is a big deal, man. I mean, I remember movies and theories all about the Zodiac killer for years and years, and so if this guy actually ends up, you know, having been the actual guy, I mean, I think that's at least a little bit of intellectual alleviation to the horror that he caused. Man.
Well, I would like to do a deep dive on him, like to, you know, maybe in my spare time, and then make a History's Mysteries about it. But
is he still alive?
No, but his son was the one that showed that photo where it said Zodiac, but there was no other handwriting on it, just right there. And I found that, and that's the name of the girl who died, the Black Dahlia. Elizabeth was the name at the bottom. So it's just all these weird things that seem to happen, and we all know that when it's not a coincidence. Like, things are not a coincidence sometimes. Sometimes they're right in front of your eyes, and you have to see it and believe it. You know what I mean?
Well, the LA police were never all that good at investigation.
Well, and they were both in California. There's so many like parallels that I mean, it's just, you. And I will say, this is alleged. This is alleged to the family of the, you know, who they're talking about, Marvin Margolis. I will say, you know, it's this is all alleged, and therefore it cannot be sued.
Except for Dragnet, by the way.
Huh?
I said LA was always not very good at investigations, except for Dragnet.
Yeah. Well, let me know what you guys think at home down in the comment section. And now it's time to end with a little bit of laughter. It's always important to laugh, and you know, I truly believe that in this world full of doom and gloom and all this, you know, sadness and sorrow and blah blah blah, it's time for an all-new volume of Please Excuse My Sense of Humor. And like I say every week, if you laugh at any of these videos, tell me your favorite one in the comment section below. But if you're offended by any of these videos, I'm sorry that you're offended. So let's go ahead and play that clip, Opa.
Too many good docs are getting out of business. Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across this country.
The Prime Minister of India? The new Prime Minister of India is, no.
I oppose breaching those dams. I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully. If you're a single mother with 2 children, which is the toughest job in America as far as I'm concerned, and you're working hard to put food on your family.
Food on your family.
teach a child to read, and he or her will be able to pass a literacy test. Families is where our nation finds hope, where wings take dream. Now, I know the speculation, but I'm the decider, and I decide what is best, and what's best is for Don Rumsfeld to remain as the Secretary of Defense. I hear there's rumors on the internets.
And one of the things that I've used on the Google is to pull up maps.
I have filters on internets. There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once."
My favorite quote.
Shame on
G-dubs.
Shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
You're part of this, aren't you?
This is a little dark, but...
Meryl! You are scaring me! You're scaring me, Meryl. What are you gonna do?
Kind of like what we discussed in the live stream with K-Podgy.
If 95% of them can't read, I don't think it's the teachers.
True.
And they say, well, it's because they're not getting a good lunch. They're not getting a good lunch. Government needs to give them a lunch. It's like, I don't think it's a lunch either. Have you ever thought that maybe the reason why the parents think it's a good idea to feed them Twinkies and Kool-Aid?
I need to talk to the goblin.
Anybody struggling with bulging discs, you're struggling with a disc in your back that is bulging.
Jake, I know you're of Asian descent. I'm sorry if this offends you. Born in the Philippines. So I went ahead and self-censored, but I can't tell if this is real or AI. Oh my... Ugh.
Without much further ado, I give you the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good.
Somalians opening fake daycares in Minnesota.
What is this?
A center for ants. The center has to be at least a daycare for ants. 3 times bigger than this. He's absolutely right.
Thank you.
Is it trained?
No.
Can I see if I can train her? You stand there, please. Put your fingers on the head.
Put my fingers on my head?
Yes, the other finger too. You say shalom.
Shalom?
Attack! Attack the Jew! No, he's not trained.
He is not trained.
6 million Jews wickedly killed in gas chambers by the Nazis. Boo! All the emotions on one side, all the evidence is on the other.
What are you, retarded? So I know you're not retarded, but what are you, Down syndrome?
Yeah. What's up with all these animals? They trying to tell us something? Maybe we thought the...
Number 1. Number 2. Number 1. Number 2.
About the same. Number 1 might be a tiny bit better.
Number 3. Number 4.
Number 3.
5. And 6. 5 and 6. About the same?
Yeah, they're pretty much... Can I see 5 one more time?
5 and 6.
I have done nothing wrong, ever, in my life.
I know this. And I love you.
I love you too, Daddy.
Sorry, Appa.
Money, please!
9/11, baby!
Which hit his car in the rear. Your car
I love
hit
Judge
his
Judy.
car.
This is Burrow. He said, how come you don't have any dachshunds? Look. Japanese TV. It's not for the weak. How come this is okay?
And you, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how...
Do not fear me, Gypsy. All I want from you is your tears. Please give them to me or I will take them.
I'm not a gypsy. I'm Midwestern farmer's daughter, Americana.
Yard sale.
You have many treasures. Who did you rob for this?
We didn't rob them. They all came from inside the house.
I will look on your treasures, Gypsy. Is this understood? I will look on them.
Please do.
Who is this lady you have shrunk? Was she the owner of this house that you camp in
No.
front of?
There's a couple more child's dolls.
Do not try shrink me, Gypsy. I'm serious. These are your spells?
No, there's a good one. The Millionaire Mindset.
Please get this man a gun.
You ever heard of it? We love our Somalis.
He
we
knows the
love our
song.
Muslims too. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet. And it's like, I love my llama too. Oh, my llama's so good. I need my llama today. There's nothing better than a llama. Say, hey, that's
He's
why
not
we
bad,
got
man.
llamas. We love our llamas.
I'd do a song with Alex
So you don't
Jones, for
care
sure.
how you look. You have a lot of fun. Yes. Now, is that the worst thing you ever seen?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it's all about.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit of my bowel history. Every Sunday, my dad used to go in the bathroom to have his bowel movement. Sometimes I'd hear a little... And I'd go in for my bowel movement. And I would go in, and it was like a green cloud, you know, a toxic waste dump in there. I remember sometimes it wouldn't come out. And when it did, it was kind of like... Once I pooped in my pants in school, and I just left it in all day. And that, to me, was pooping. Once it was in the toilet, they couldn't flush it down. Her husband had to get a shovel out of the garage and chop it up.
This is a blind guy. Whoever said you can't do it, Helen Keller. You can't do it. Homeowners
Brings us to
Association.
Frank's flag.
You
which
can't
is,
hang that flag because it's
yeah, it's just
racist.
unfortunate.
It's 4 Fs. I didn't know it was going to come off like that.
Pretty sure he did.
Shout out to Cascades HOA for being most Nazi-like. So, Jake, what was your favorite?
Oh, I love the Bush throwback because I remember, like, he was my first president, really, of my childhood memory, and I remember some of those gaffes.
Yeah, they were great ones. What about you, Uppa?
The eye doctor.
The eye doctor. Yeah, that one was funny. A lot of those are courteous of my lovely wife. She finds the funniest videos, and now my feed is even more messed up. Like, it's like dark. But I like a dark sense of humor, and, you know, it seems like a lot of you guys like the Please Excuse My Sense of Humor, or we wouldn't have 38 of them. But if you laughed, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed. But, yeah, guys, you got any parting words, Jake? Happy 60th anniversary to Mamaw and Papaw. We love you guys. We've never met, but I hope to meet you someday. And we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Jake, thank you for another great current news, as always. Opa, thank you for another great Opa's Corner. And we hope you enjoyed today's episode as a whole. Stay awake, not woke, subscribe, and stay tuned. If you like what we do here on Skiba News Nation, please like and subscribe. and also share with others so we can grow the biggest truth-seeking community on the internet. Huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there. If you like bonus content, you want some extra Skiba News Nation stuff, please go to patreon.com/Skiba News Nation.
Son of the legendary Ross Jeremiah Eagle.
It's like they don't even want to wake up.
He's on a quest for truth.